thing that I think a lot of people with voice problems will know is the importance of keeping colds, viruses, throat infections, flus at bay. You may have got to a position with your voice where it's reasonably manageable, maybe your condition's improved a lot, maybe it's got as good as it's going to get. It may not be perfect, but it's better than it was. And the effect of a cold or a flu can be really devastating. It can set you back with your voice, it can result in a lot of pain, it can mean a couple of months without your voice or with a very uncomfortable larynx. So keeping those colds, flus and viruses at bay becomes really important. I mean, that's been very much my personal experience. So what I'd like to share with you are some of the things that I do to try and do that. I am not an expert, but these are just some of the things that I do just in case they're of any use to you. One thing I do is I take echinacea. Echinacea is from a flower, I think, and it's renowned for its restorative and protective properties, and generally boosting the immune system. So I'm not going to go into how many tablets you should take and all that. I'm sure you can speak to someone at your local health food shop about that, or store, as they say in the Americas. But that's one thing I use. Another thing is zinc, which is also well known for promoting the immune system, for its antioxidant properties. And then the final thing, which is probably the most obvious but might be useful to know about, is vitamin C, which, I mean, is something we often take when we get a cold, but taking it other times can also be helpful. So they're things that I do to try and protect my immune system, but notwithstanding that, you will sometimes start to develop a cold. And my experience has been, if a cold starts to develop, I'm going to get one, it's going to be pretty bad, and it's going to go to my throat, and it's going to take its toll on my voice, and it's going to result in really quite a painful, uncomfortable throat for quite a long period of time. However, recently I did discover that Vicks have introduced this range called First Defence. I'm sure you can definitely get it in the UK, because I live in the UK and I bought it here, but I'm sure you can probably get an equivalent or the same thing in the US or other places. And the idea is that when you get that sensation that a cold is taking hold, you spray this stuff up your nose, and it is supposed to stop the cold from taking hold. I do not think it is 100% effective by any means, but I found it to be somewhat effective, so it's just an idea. And the other thing that they do within this range called First Defence is they do like a long-lasting antibacterial hand spray. So I think the idea behind that is obviously to protect you against flu, viruses and that, but it also stays for quite a long period of time, whereas some of the other antiseptic hand products don't last that long. So they are my 3 or 4 tuppences worth, if that's even a phrase. But I'd be very grateful to know what you do to stave off colds and flus, and whether you agree that they are things that, you know, are the worst nightmare for someone who's got a voice problem. Things you might do, I have no idea. It might be drinking some kind of fruit juice, blueberries. I think that's supposed to be very antioxidant. God knows, like all sorts of things are flashing into my head. But I, so long as it's relatively safe, I would very much, and I'm sure others would like to hear about it. So please do post your ideas and videos in response to this. Thanks very much. Bye.